podcast on all of Long Island. Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh. Monte and the Pharaoh.
The Monte and Pharaoh Show.
And you're watching the Monte and Pharaoh Show.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
With Monte and the Pharaoh.
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 Monte and Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
And Monte and the Pharaoh. Oh, is it Monte and the Pharaoh?
Monte and Pharaoh.
The Monte and the Pharaoh Show.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
You've got the future Hall of Famers at Rucker, Marty Jannetty, and MJ in the house, and I'm sitting here with two more future Hall of Famers, Monte and the Pharaoh. We're doing that stuff and we gonna rock it.
Not just dreaming it, we're doing it for real. Straight to the top. Working hard every day just to leave out that tower.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh, seen only here live from Rockstar Studios in Huntington, New York, live from Village Connection Radio. At the board is the owner of this illustrious station, Mr. Jim Savali. Jim, how are you, buddy?
What up, what up?
And to the right is the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Pharaoh. Jimmy, how are you, bud?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Good to see you.
What's going on?
How you feeling after a long, exotic weekend in the world of wrestling?
Exotic or exhausting?
Well, either or works for me.
I'll go with exhausting and somewhat exhilarating.
Yeah.
But pretty cool.
Before we start talking about that, I do want to give out to a shout out to producer Steve Miller, who started at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and worked to the wee hours of the night.
Sure did.
You guys worked him hard, man.
We did work him hard, man. So, Jim, you weren't here, but boy, it was a round robin of great wrestlers. We opened up with Road Warrior Animal and Michael Elgin. Thoughts on that, Pharaoh?
Excellent. Got Road Warrior without the makeup. How about that? That was cool. You know, don't usually. No, I'm serious. You don't usually see that. We saw him the next day in full makeup. I actually talked with him, and he was like, "Oh, would have been cool to have the makeup."
He was cool, man.
He was cool that he didn't have the makeup, actually. You know,
and then
good interview.
Then we had we had JJ McGuire in studio, and Wisteria Hall.
Yep.
His own Bart Griggs playing with JJ as the band.
Yep.
And you guys did a little quick run at
little HBK.
Let me ask you this. Who's the guy that was doing the Jim Savali impression? He was dressed like me. Looked like. Who was that guy?
Well, we're gonna get it. So that was Buff Bagwell. Buff came in.
Bagwell doing the Jim Savali
Buff Bagwell
imitation.
looking a little Savali-ish. He was trying to portray Jim Savali.
Interesting. I never thought of it that way.
What are your thoughts on Buff? What'd you think of Buff?
I thought Buff was
I don't know
great.
what you thought of Buff.
I thought Buff was great. Absolutely great, wasn't he? He was fantastic.
Were you a fan of his?
I have to admit, when he was with Steiner, I was, absolutely.
And then we closed out with Hillbilly Jim, Hall of Famer Hillbilly Jim.
Yep, pretty good guitar player, man.
Oh, really good. And
I was like, what on earth is going on here?
Did you ever think that he had, he didn't have, at least I remember, he didn't have great mic skills in wrestling.
Did he really need them?
I guess that wasn't part of his role, but boy, that guy could talk up a storm.
He sure can, and he's actually interesting, unlike some windbags. Well, there you go. Right? He was interesting.
My God. So, we were discussing before the show that Village Connection, in advancing as they always do, we went to the clip-on mics, which seem to work much better.
Everyone in the studio.
Everybody in the entire studio.
Except for...
So we actually have to
Old-fashioned Monty. No, I don't want to clip on. I feel somewhat restrained. If I turn to the left, the wire of my tongue can fall off. I want the old-fashioned mic. It's 1947, and I'm Orson Welles' cousin.
It's hipper, man. Isn't the mic
hipper? I just put you back in the 40s with that.
In front of your face.
Well, maybe I need a little oral fixation.
I don't know, bro. That's the wrong fixation.
You know, before we got to this studio years ago, there was another guy.
Yeah.
There was another guy, and I remember we were talking about that, about the mics, and the other guy said to you, he goes, "If you want to do radio, go to another studio because those are for radio, not television." Do you remember that whole thing?
Yeah, I kind of do now. Yeah, it's coming back somewhere.
And that's when you were like, "Fuck you, pal." Do you remember that one?
Oh, I guess I kind of, yeah.
These are the parts that you have to beep out to get it down to a half hour, right?
That's right.
Cool.
Right.
Oops. Or, you know what? Pharaoh's got it down. He's got horns and whistles.
You guys are on cable now.
I figured it out, too, how to edit it. You know, we got horns and sound effects. If somebody drops an F-bomb, it's... Oh, it's great.
And I got to tell you, they had the Marty Jannetty video played yesterday.
Yes, the destruction.
Tuesday.
Wait a minute. The destruction.
My wife watched the fight. I said, well, you just got to watch this.
Right.
So I knew that one was good.
The best
part.
You just got to watch
that Rocky ending with the freeze frame?
That was great.
Yeah.
The best part,
awesome.
though, is after he punches me in the face.
Yeah. That was great.
Jim, you hear Jim go, "Bro."
It got real.
It's so fucking
It got
funny.
real.
Oh, my God. It was great.
Yeah,
I was
got
going like
pretty
this with
crazy.
my board. I was like,
oh, yeah.
catching my board
Oh,
like this.
yeah.
and falling
That shit
off.
was crazy.
Oh, well, London
man.
Bridge was falling down. Yeah.
it was falling down,
yeah, it was
right.
falling down. He was like, whoa.
That was pretty crazy.
You hear it's like, whoa, bro. Yeah.
I've
He's
had
like,
some
"What
good
up?"
stories in this studio.
Dude, yeah. Let me ask you, Jim, you've been around for a long time. You've had a lot of, you've actually had A celebrities, B celebrities, C, and then D celebrities, of course. What was your favorite moment? And it doesn't have to be a Monty the Pharaoh. What was like, you're like, oh my God.
You probably have a ton of
This is why I made this
moments,
studio.
I think that, and it's going to sound so trivial, but I think on the show Reach Out, they had this singer from Alive and Kickin'. And I remember being in the 80s out in West Hampton, and these guys were playing at this place we were at. And there's this one song that they played that they're very well known for. I won't be able to pull it out of my head right now.
Alive and Kickin'.
Alive? No, it's not called Alive and Kickin'. No.
You sure?
No.
Okay.
I'll think about it through.
Think about it through. Okay.
So anyway, the woman that we worked for, she kept throwing them $100 bills to play this song, and they just kept playing it, and it was very memorable.
Wow.
So to have these guys in my studio some 30 something years later was kind of cool to me.
That's great. That's great.
That was, there's been some very famous people in here.
Again, I'm always very jealous. By the way, we're starting to do live studio things. We've got the Queen who's watching the show. The Queen, who's another popular Long Island musician, along with the Pharaoh, who plays at Wisteria Hall. The Queen plays for I Hate Trees, right? So trees what?
Trees hate everything.
Whatever. Yeah, you're right. Trees
hate everything.
I'm old, no memory. I get it.
Oh my God.
But anyway, very talented. But I'm always amazed by people who have art. Are they driven by art? Because I'm not. I've said it a million times. But it's like, here's a guy like Savali who has this great idea, right? He comes from a marketing background. He says, "Hey, I'm going to open a studio," and he starts building shows, and then all of a sudden, you get something that really triggers you, and it makes it all worth it. I think it's pretty amazing. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, and then we'll hit some wrestling talk. I was on my way in listening to the 80s channel on Sirius Radio, and John Cougar Mellencamp.
Nice.
All right.
The reason it was laughable to me is most recently I saw a movie with Meg Ryan in it. And I started thinking, I wonder what Meg Ryan... Oh, it was Harry Met Sally was on cable, right?
Jeez, I don't even...
But I'm like, I wonder what Meg Ryan
that.
looks like, right?
All right.
So I go look, and who is she dating? John Cougar Mellencamp. Yep. And they broke up because, they got engaged, and he didn't want to get married.
What, back in the day?
No,
now.
Oh, now.
But that's my reaction.
Okay.
It's like they both... Mellencamp's got to be close to 70.
All right.
Right? Meg has got to be...
She's in her 60s.
Right?
They're both in their 60s.
What's so important about getting married at that age?
I have no idea. I'm not there yet.
And they're actually
I'm
holding
married now,
hands in
so why would I
pictures,
even? I don't know. What?
Do you envision
That bothers you?
No, but do you envision
I
holding
don't
your
get it,
wife's
man.
hand? Do you envision holding your wife's hand at 60-something years old?
Let me put it this way. If I'm still married, I probably would expect to still be holding her hand. That's really weird, Mike.
What?
What the hell? I don't get it, man. That's bizarre.
Oh my god.
What, like, just because you're at a certain age, all right, hand holding's completely off
Well,
now.
hand holding leads
Like,
to
wait a minute,
heavy petting.
hold on. Let's get deep into this.
Okay.
When does hand holding filter out? Like, I guess in the 20s you hold hands, 30s, 40s. Wait, when does it end? 47?
I think.
Like, I don't feel.
I think
I don't feel it's necessary anymore.
I think it ends when
That's
you. I think
interesting.
it ends when you just don't have sex anymore.
Well, let me ask you this, Mike, because I see all these pictures of you and
The missus,
your wife,
yeah,
in public, like.
And by the way, someone was stupid enough to marry me, people.
You're
So I
always
get
going
it.
through all of these
going
nature
on?
trails and at the beach. I always see pictures, more pictures than I ever put up.
Right.
And I'm just during those times. Are you holding hands?
Both. We have a rule, me and my wife. We go on these nature trails with the hopes that one of us doesn't make it back.
What is going on?
So
Oh my God!
we take pictures
What
to
is
prove
that?
that we were on that nature trail.
Kill each other.
Do you,
Well,
wait a minute.
Yeah,
Do you
right.
like purposely pick like the dangerous trails?
Yeah, we go by cliffs.
This is getting really
Cliffs,
bizarre.
wild dogs, venomous
Wild
snakes.
dogs.
Venomous snakes.
You know,
Laura, what about you?
Have you ever been to the Edgewood Preserve? I could show you the wild dog area.
Yeah.
There's
Wait,
a wild dog area.
Pharaoh, someone asked you a
Pharaoh,
question,
what was
sir.
that, bro?
What about you? Holding hands in public?
Yeah, we have
All the time?
Yeah, usually.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
I would say the
okay.
ratio's fairly high.
All right.
I didn't realize that it's such a weird thing
who's
to
the
be
actual
doing.
hand grabber in your relationship?
It's usually pretty much. It's it's weird.
You don't
hand
like, you don't like
grabber.
hit. You don't
Wait
like
a
hit
minute,
hands,
like you
do
know what? It's not like hand grabbing. It's almost just like reflex.
Natural? It's almost natural,
Yeah,
right?
it's like you.
But wait a minute, this
You
is a great
almost
point.
just both know
Who's
it's
the
like-
hand grabber?
I
Jim,
don't
who's the
think-
hand grabber
wait
in
a
your
minute,
relationship?
I would say that it's my wife.
Okay.
How about you, Queen? Who's the hand grabber in your relationship?
here
I'll
we-
speak for her when she gives me
What?
the nod.
Equal.
Equal hand grabbing.
Yeah.
And Pharaoh, you're equal
That's,
hand grabbing.
that's reasonable. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, if it's
Interesting.
equal,
And with you
must
guys,
be-
it's rules and
Wait.
going into dangerous hiking trails.
If it's-
You're insane!
If it's
What
equal,
is this?
if it's equal, you must have those awkward times where you reach out at the same
And
time.
you both
hit.
touch. Oh my
And you
God!
hit the hand,
Yes.
the backhand hit because
Is
you
that what
both reach at the
happens?
same time.
Wow, and if it's winter time.
And then do you pull away or do you grab?
It really hurts because it's winter.
Yeah.
There's some
bones are
intelligent
like, you know,
talk going on here
I-
because
I-
I'll tell you
I'm
what.
floored.
You do have to
Oy.
have the hand
grabber.
grabber.
There is one
Because
There's a
you
hand grabber.
right, you don't want to knock hands.
People don't realize it. That's why I had to keep asking questions.
You know,
but there's usually one.
I don't want to get too deep, but
Go ahead.
like a long time ago in the church I used to hang around, there was this guy who used to say, "Who pushes the stack of dominoes? Who's the one to push it?
Right.
Like who's the pusher? You know, like where that's what you're really getting at here.
Yeah, who is?
Like you know what are we after here? Like let's like the meaning of life on Monte the Pharaoh. Oh my God. You know,
Your fingers are a little crazy right
Maybe
now.
maybe you should be smoking some
You're
weed.
scaring me with those fingers. What's going on?
It's just weird. This
Yeah, I
is
never
weird.
realized how long your fingers are.
I'm a musician. What the hell? Am I supposed to have
And they're
stubby little
quick.
knobs?
They're quick.
Of course they're quick. What the hell?
It must be very engaging.
man.
Marty, stop. Boing. What the hell? You know? Like the snake.
All right, let's talk. Let's talk some wrestling.
Yeah, do we have to?
What do you think?
I don't know, man.
I think
it's
we
been a
should.
blur. Well, Disco Inferno and
Real quick before we start,
Okay.
again,
All right.
I want to thank the Monte The Pharaoh theme song makers, Aqua Cherry,
Okay.
and our also theme song makers Wisteria Hall, which you
Okay.
belong to. And again, another shout out to Bart Griggs from Wisteria Hall, who was the consummate professional this weekend, our last weekend. So we want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's talk wrestling.
Fine.
Are you all ready?
Yeah,
ready.
I'm ready.
All right, everybody.
Okay.
Big news. Mr.
Big.
Jim Cornette is out
Oy.
of NWA. Now, this is fairly recent news. I'm going to read something, and Pharaoh, Jim, weigh in at any time you like.
Oy.
The company just announced the longtime announcer resigned this morning after his crazy, racist comment streamed on the internet. Again, I'm going slow with this because I've got my viewpoints, but I want to hear you two first.
Sure.
The NWA issued a statement effective immediately. Jim Cornette has resigned from the National Wrestling Alliance as the announcer on November 19th edition of NWA Power. Jim made remarks during a singles match between champion Nick Aldis and challenger Trevor Murdoch. And by the way, Trevor Murdoch should be happy he's saying that someone's saying something during his matches, because that dude needs to wear a shirt. They were both offensive and do not meet high standards of decency and good faith of the National Wrestling Alliance.
Right.
To ensure this can never happen again, we have established new procedures to review all the NWA program going forward. So instead of getting fresh, new, live broadcasting like you got here, where anything can happen, we're going to vet these videos and make changes that we think are good enough.
Not that, maybe this, not that, we'll take this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what makes NWA Power so great in my mind is the way they just have at it old school. But let me finish up so I could hear from you guys, all right? And I will read the comments. We sincerely regret our failure in this regard. Here is Mr. Cornette's comments. He's the referring Trevor Murdoch. Thank you.
Trevor Murdoch, an old school Southern wrestler.
Yep.
Go on.
He's the only man I've ever known that can strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia. Gentlemen, you want to weigh in?
Go ahead, Jim. Okay, please.
Wait, let me just take this in for a second.
Holy tennis!
Did you hear it?
Holy tennis racket, Jim Cornette.
Right.
By the way, Jim,
could he have made the same comment if it was a Asian person?
That sounds like backwash.
So could he said it about Asian? First of all, I don't even understand why we would think it was a racist comment towards black people to begin with, but
I don't.
Pharaoh?
I don't.
Okay. First things first. While I agree, I love the feel of NWA Power, and it does feel live. Here's one thing that maybe you didn't know. These shows are taped. And what's really annoying about this is that these shows were taped during September-October time period. Now that we're in November, they air a little bit later, of course, but they are taped.
Right.
And what makes me really laugh is that the executives and the people who do the screening for the final film, we do it for cable. I find it incredible that they left this in. What is wrong with you? You exposed, by the way, we both watch
NWA.
This is bad. We both watch NWA Power. One of the big reasons is Jim Cornette. I loved that he was there.
Right.
Did
Okay.
he sneak this in? Like after they gave the script?
No. They let him do his thing.
All right.
Which is kind of nice.
Let me give you.
He doesn't come in fully scripted because he's
Okay,
Jim
I
Cornette.
gotcha.
He's a legend.
Let me give you both some background, though.
Go ahead.
All right, and this is a great point, Pharaoh and Jim. You both bring it
ahead.
up. Jim Cornette has used this canned line back in
decades.
1980
For decades.
during a match.
He's a legend, this guy.
1990 during a WWE when he was announcing for them.
Right.
And nothing's done.
He has used
all right,
it
it's
in
a
the past.
canned.
But here's the key
So
thing.
all of a sudden,
But here's
all
the
of a
key
sudden.
thing, as you know, and here's the unfortunate thing, as you know. The key thing you said was in the past.
Right.
Yep, everything's
Look where we're
changed.
stuck right now with certain things, and I don't mean that, and I just feel like I've heard this before. You know what's weird? His resigning, this whole thing smells of, forgive me, it smells of Jimmy the Greek. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. I've seen this before. Jimmy the Greek made the terrible mistake of referring to the black modern-day athlete in sports as a thoroughbred. He meant it in the most athletic of terms, but of course, man, they took it like, what are you comparing black people to a horse? You're fired.
Right.
And it sunk his career. And it's not what he meant. I know it's not what he meant, but you know what? This is where we're at. So you know what? Maybe some things don't change. It reminds me a little bit of that. By the way, I wasn't a fan of Jimmy the Greek, for anybody who thinks I'm on board with that.
But
I really wasn't a fan
wrestling
of his.
is supposed to be off the wall. It's supposed to be funny.
Right.
And you know what? I mean, what do you?
I think you got to
You just
know
want your
nowadays
straight
that-
announcing.
Number one, no, I don't want straight announcing. But number one, you got to know nowadays the line, because the line has changed and it's annoying. We don't have to like the line, but the line is there. It's definitely become much higher. What? Oh no! It is what it is. You have to know it, and I can't believe they had time to edit it out, and they still left it in, and now look what's happened.
Jim,
It's
if
like,
Village Connection blew up to the level you expected to run into, would you be vetting the shows and listening to everything they're saying?
Dude, you'd have to be careful. You know
I
that.
mean, there's certain things that I'm aware of now that I would have to.
You'd have to be careful.
Consider.
Let's say you land.
Listen,
let's say he
jumping in
lands
that bomb is not the
Budweiser. You
same
guys
as
land
dropping
Budweiser. You're going to be careful for what they want from you. You know.
Here, listen. I think the problem is
I wouldn't
really.
blame you one bit.
I'm gonna call.
You know?
I'm just gonna call it this. I
Okay.
think that they really didn't want Jim Cornette anymore.
How do you take the comment, Mike?
I didn't take it anything. I thought it was like another stupid wrestling.
You know why
one.
I didn't take it as anything? People forgive us. I was raised on Blazing Saddles. What do you want from me? This is I was raised on Archie Bunker.
I'm not even thinking about that.
But it is. It's like that old school ridiculous humor.
We watched
Don
wrestling.
Rickles would be screwed nowadays.
You watch wrestling for
Really?
you watch wrestling for a long time. You've
Yeah.
heard this stuff all the time.
Okay.
To get offended by it is utterly ridiculous. But
It depends.
I truly believe that the NWA,
Depends.
just like with anything else,
Yeah.
they just didn't want Cornette anymore. He's old
Really?
school. Don't want him. They'll bring some other young announcer.
With those
in.
long lines they had this week?
Oh. So speaking of that, we were at our first event,
Yeah.
the big event,
Oh.
right? Probably New York's #1 pro wrestling
Yeah,
autograph
it
signing
is.
thing. Village Connection promoted the Monte The Pharaoh too. People taking the Village Connection shots, right?
Yep.
So I wanted to ask you about this, Pharaoh. First of all, Jim, I don't know if I told you this.
Okay.
The Pharaoh was in his element, man.
I was?
This dude was hustling like you
hustling?
don't know. Dude, you
Hey.
were rocking it, dude.
I was?
You were rocking
That was rocking it?
We were promoting
Should have
JJ
given me a couple
McGuire.
of bumps. Would have been great.
You were doing great, man.
Oh, okay. No bumps.
How did you feel about the wrestling fans at the event? Be honest now.
Oh, do I have to?
You have to.
All right. You know what? Most of them, no feeling. They're just people there. It's cool, whatever. There was a couple of fans, like, you know, basically, what did I say? I came up to you like, ooh, a twirly bird with my chopper hat
Yeah,
on.
right.
And I got my belt, and I've got my pants are pulled up. You can see my shot.
We were promoting JJ.
I don't know. There was a certain level of dorkiness. I mean, what are we getting at here?
We
It
were
was
promoting.
kind of
We were
messed
promoting
up.
JJ
No different than a
McGuire.
sci-fi convention or something.
We were promoting JJ McGuire.
It's wrestling.
JJ's not that well known, but
What?
for the wrestling fans,
Okay.
right? He's the one that wrote the music with Jimmy Hart,
Yeah.
right? Him, Jimmy Johnson,
Yes.
Jimmy Hart.
Yes.
And we're getting his name out there.
Yeah.
So you got these fans who save up their money, right? They go in there with thousands and thousands of dollars and they're looking for autographs or whatever, and they got no problem spending $300 on Kane and $300 on Kurt Angle. But when they would get to the JJ table, it was like we had a hustle for them to like buy an autograph or a book. But you know, because they didn't know him.
JJ was a
But
pretty good hustler too.
He was hustling his
He
ass
was
off.
hustling.
He was hustling.
He was like,
his ass off.
but
But
cha-ching.
my whole point is I just found the whole scene to be a little weird. And by the way, ESS's Eric Sims was there, right?
Yes.
Promoting. Yeah.
Yes.
And that guy hustles, boy.
That guy. He's
That
got,
guy
He's got the two giant bags
Oh, he
attached.
does.
He's like.
But I got to tell you, you know,
He was
this wrestling
moving.
thing
He
is
was moving.
it's weird.
It was pretty crazy.
a little weird and crazy.
How about when the Pharaoh, Jim, this is outrageous. The Pharaoh couldn't get into the main room. I don't have a wristband.
Yeah, they
I don't
wouldn't
have
let
a
him in.
wristband. I turned around. I said, "That's my table right there." The guy's like, "You gotta have a wristband." I'm like, "I'm part of this show. I'm not here to. What do you think? I'm here to get a freaking belt? You know, I'm not here to buy a toy belt. I got my table. There's Monty right there." And you're like,
Wait, did you have a wristband?
"What? No."
But they let me in.
Oh, they let him right in because he's a big
that's
guy.
Monty.
I would say it was bullshit. And then, you know what though? You know how this story ended though? Mr. Big comes over. He's like, what the F is going on? I'm like, he's like, you come with me. Walk right past the guy.
Oh, man.
Listen,
What
but
the heck?
don't let
Thanks,
this,
Mr. Big.
You know, Queen, I don't want you to
No
get upset
respect.
right now, but
What?
one of the fans out there, Timmy Tim, just wants to say
What?
he's madly in love with you. He asked me to give
Timmy,
you a shout out.
why would the Queen, first of all, why would the Queen get mad that some dude is in love with the Pharaoh?
I don't know.
Maybe she'd be mortified by it, but I don't know about, I'm mortified by Tim!
She just wants your coffee.
Yeah, she got the coffee. Yeah, you.
Oh, by the way,
all
I
good.
just want to put a shout out to
Okay.
someone who's watching the show, Mr.
right.
Al Brown.
Al Brown's there? Yeah, how are you doing, buddy?
Al.
Al Brown put a shout out to Dan Romano. He
Oh
says,
no, here
Dan
we go.
talks about people's moms.
That's it?
Yes.
I can't believe that's
Oh,
it.
Dan is a
It's
cancer.
gotta-
Dan is a cancer.
there. Okay.
And he's
What
a
else?
damn liar.
Okay. What
All right,
else is
listen, we're gonna go. We're gonna hit
figured
on.
there was more.
I want to hit on CM Punk a little bit, but Mr. Big also
CM
wrote.
Punk.
Let's not forget all wrestling fans. New Evolution Wrestling first anniversary. Saturday, November 23rd in Elmhurst. And
Okay.
Monte and the Pharaoh have been comped.
Wow.
Come on in.
Wow, what about Jim Savali?
Wow.
Jesus.
I don't know. What about Jim Savali?
Wow, big.
You don't
Okay,
leave
Big.
Huntington. We talked about that.
All right, Big.
Yo, bro, I'm here to see Puma King.
Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
I got you, Big.
I'm here
Puma
to see
King.
Puma King.
All right, look. CM Punk made his appearance on WWE programming last week. Yeah, big deal.
Yes.
I want to get
me.
into a little something. Punk, who dramatically quit the WWE in 2014, playfully tweeted about catching up on pro wrestling over the past 5 years. Always a no-holds-barred watcher, right? Punk curiously tagged AEW president Tony Khan in a tweet. Khan responded in kind, taking an opportunity to go all Jericho and mock the WWE, particularly its recent Saudi Arabia snafu.
All right.
Right? And then the Viper, Randy Orton.
This is where Orton gets
He jumps
involved.
in and
Yeah, he's pretty good.
he basically
Okay.
starts referring to Tony Khan's father, Shahid Khan.
Right.
And if you remember a few episodes back, we talked about Vince and
Yeah.
Shahid.
Yeah, okay.
Which resulted in a nuclear tweet from Khan, who not only discredited the article, but mocked Orton's colorful language on Twitch using the N-word.
What?
So Randy
Wait a
Orton
minute, Orton
dropped the N-word
called
on
him a Nancy?
Twitch, right?
Really?
Yeah, and it was
That's not,
was news for a
see,
little
that's
bit,
not too good.
but it wasn't like that. It was
What
like,
do you mean? There's no way to make
yo,
that
you're
work.
my,
Yeah.
what's up, my? You know what I mean?
Oh,
was
I
like
still
that?
think
It was
that's-
like that.
Isn't that still asking
you
for
say that to people?
problems?
Do I say that? Do I look like I say that? There?
You don't say
picture
that.
you
I've
saying
never-
that.
Really?
Yeah.
What's up, my?
No,
up,
don't you? Would
What's
you?
up?
There we go.
No, that ain't me, man.
There goes the network. Oh,
It's actually one long word. It's a long word.
he's tired over here. Hey.
So anyway, the social media is out of control. The fans are going nuts right now, Jim. So what do you think about that, Pharaoh? Want to weigh in on that?
Well, I didn't know that Randy used that. I just think that you gotta know better than that. I thought that there was more to this, though. I could have sworn there was something else that happened here with him having words with Khan about the product and everything like that. Apparently, it got much worse than that. That's not good. What does Vince do with something like that? Hey, Randy, come in here. What are you, nuts?
I don't think he does much.
Oh, what are you? How can he be
This
happy
whole social
about it?
media back and forth thing is not.
Wait a minute. They just gave Randy a 5-year extension.
That's
I guess
correct.
they're not too unhappy about it.
That is correct.
Then it's all just blah, blah. I don't know what's going on.
Do you
Pharaoh
think
can make
do you
no
think-
sense.
Do you think that the WWE should back off AEW a little bit?
No, they don't need to. You know what? I don't think they come forward at AEW. I think they sometimes respond to AEW's never-ending poking.
Well, speaking
Hey,
of that,
big guy!
you
Big,
told me
big,
outside you got the news of the results for this week's
What?
show.
From where?
AEW.
I don't know, Jack, man. What are you talking about? My cable's out. I told you my cable was
Did
out.
you say that you
ain't
got
doing
the-
that to me?
No.
I got to see some of it.
I didn't say did you see it. I
Right.
said you told me
Right.
that
Well,
the
I like Jericho's thing.
not the results of the matches. Bro.
Yeah. You don't want to know
Reel you
arm
back
bars. You
a
don't want to know
little bit.
headlocks. No wrist locks.
You got the viewership results.
Oh, that's true
That's
too.
what you told
You had me all frightened. Like,
sorry about that.
I thought like I would actually have to have details this
No,
week.
no,
my
sir.
damn cable is out.
No,
Anyway,
sir, it's all good.
yeah, no, the ratings are in, and they just came in this afternoon, and well, that took 7 weeks, but I didn't think it was. I said to you during the week last week, I'm like, next week's the week. NXT has now passed AEW already in the ratings. And you can say it's not a big deal. I think it is. I think it was very smart of them to all of a sudden in the last few weeks include Finn Balor on NXT, include AJ Styles on NXT with
Right.
the club, include Kevin Owens now with the very smart man. They have a huge roster, so they took some of their established stars on SmackDown and Raw that have been on an established program for decades now and put them on the new thing against AEW and said, you know what, we got so much talent, we'll just take some of our NXT legends and put them back on NXT for a little bit. And boom! Up go to ratings. Vince is a genius.
So your cable was out, and This Is Us season finale was on.
Oh, my wife is crushed because the DVR is
I
out.
didn't
She wants to
miss it.
see it.
But you think I chose AEW
I ask you
over?
a
I know
question?
AEW is on
Serious?
Wednesdays. Whatever.
Can I ask
I don't
you a
know. I was
question?
watching something else. What?
Did you cry?
He always cries.
Nah, you know what?
I
For
heard
a guy
lot of
who
people
killed me
crying
over
this
Star
one.
Trek 2, you cry at everything. And then you bust my horns because Spock is dying. Spock is dying! What's wrong with this?
This
guy?
is us started really bad this season, right?
Did it?
It was
I
very
saw the
like
comments
annoying.
on
I was
it,
like,
bro.
oh, show's over.
Really?
But then bam,
I don't know.
totally awesome. Your
I don't
wife's
know.
into it?
I
She
mean, I
enjoying
hear
it?
like sobbing and stuff, so they must be
I didn't
good.
really cry much. Well, maybe I
It's
did cry
got to be a
little
good
bit.
show.
Why did I miss
just don't watch
AEW
it.
yesterday? I worked late and then
Okay.
my. Oh, you know what I was watching?
What is going on here?
What?
What are you looking at?
Wait a minute, I'm trying to think.
What
I
is
was
he up
watching.
to?
Oh, I was watching Starship Troopers.
Why?
Starship
That's a
Troopers
great movie.
AEW. I'm watching Starship Troopers. dude.
Over AEW, you're gonna watch Starship Troopers.
Oh, that's sure.
Look, you could have told me Empire Strikes Back, even Return of the Jedi. But
Starship Troopers rocks,
no,
dude.
it's a good film, but
Wow, you're not a big Starship Troopers.
no, I like it. But over Chris Jericho's promo this
Oh,
week,
yeah.
no.
The girl
I'm
naked
still a wrestling
over
nerd.
that hot girl with the curly
Dude,
red
it's got to
hair.
be Clockwork Orange or Halloween, the original.
Over AEW? That's the only things that top AEW.
What
in your
else
book.
would?
Man, you're such a wrestler.
Wait a minute, I can always watch anything on
Well,
DVR. Why is that?
speaking of nerdy wrestling fans, let's go to our favorite.
This is not my idea. No.
favorite
No.
clip of the week.
Let's not. Oy.
The most
Here we go. I didn't do it.
annoying
Oy.
wrestling.
This better not be Lou Gehrig.
Expert.
Lou Gehrig's been in every game lately. You leave Gehrig out of this. What? What is that?
That's the most annoying wrestling expert.
What is that?
It's coming on.
They sound really annoying.
So the most annoying wrestling expert is
Make this good.
one of the wrestling experts out there that have something to say about wrestling on a regular basis. They have to read on social media.
Like everybody else. What?
I'm just waiting for it to pop up so I can read it.
God.
Oh, bro, hold on one sec. I'm sorry.
Good.
It's okay. It's
There it
coming.
goes.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Now, you don't like the most annoying wrestling expert segment? I thought that's our favorite segment.
No, I do, but I don't see a cloud of anonymity. Is that the right word? Like where they're anonymous?
Oh, it's you like the anonymous.
I like don't pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Once you know that the man behind the curtain is who he is, it's like, oh geez.
Well, I crossed out his name.
Yeah, like a kid in third grade with a crayon. With a crayon! What are you?
We're starting over.
I love how we discussed this on the air. By the way, what are we doing? This is why we're back together, though. By the way.
Oh my God.
What are you doing? Oh, you're such a shit star.
Should I just pop to it, Jim? What do you think? It's coming.
It's coming. All right. This is
All right,
like-
listen. So the idea between the
What
most
is this?
annoying wrestling expert is after I read the comment, I'm going to ask for the producer and, of course, the star of the show, Jimmy Farrow,
the star of the show.
to please
Hey,
get involved and give discussion. Are you ready?
is there any beer?
I skimmed through last night's Raw in about 12 minutes.
Okay.
Seriously? ...
All right.
Has it really gotten to this point? It's supposed to be the best wrestling company in the world, and they have just done nothing to attract me as a viewer.
Okay.
To quote the great movie critic Roger Ebert,
All right.
I want to eat 80 pizzas. No, I'm sorry, that's not what he said.
That's not
To
Ebert.
quote the great movie critic
Yeah.
Roger Ebert,
Yeah, he was great.
if they're not going to try, why should I?
Interesting.
Pharaoh, thoughts?
Okay, okay. You know what's weird? Just answer me one thing.
Sure.
How high is your ratio lately of sitting through? Now, I got to be fair though. Okay. Raw. I'm not talking about NXT, which I think has been really, really good lately. I'm not talking about SmackDown, which has been a little better lately. I still don't think it's as good as it should be. We're talking about Raw right now.
Right.
How much full-time Raw are you doing? Are you doing what I think what most people are doing, which makes sense at this point? The way the product is, you're probably YouTubing a lot of highlights and getting a good 35 minutes, maybe out of 3 hours, if you're that interested. Which I think
if
you
you're
usually are at least that interested.
I get home from
know?
work, I eat dinner, and I get home pretty late.
Yeah.
I put on Raw.
Yeah.
I eat dinner.
Yeah.
Wash up.
Right.
And at some point, I usually fall asleep during Raw. It's
Really?
not because of Raw.
'Cause you're tired.
It's because I'm tired.
Right.
Are you going to tell me when the Attitude Era was around, I probably would make sure I stayed more awake?
Right.
Because I used to still keep the same hours.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
But-
younger though.
All right.
It's easier.
I will tell you this. I just said it, right? You had AEW and NXT on last night.
All right.
And I watched Starship Troopers.
Yeah, that's weird, bro. So I guess you
So-
just. So what are you gonna really say? If he's saying his attention span was 12 minutes for a 3-hour show, see, I'm the dope.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We talked last night.
Yeah.
What was I doing when you called me?
Oh, I can't remember.
I was watching NWA Power. So I chose to watch a taped
He was watching
organization
wrestling. Right.
over both NXT
Right,
and AEW
right.
because I actually enjoy NWA Power
Did you have
than all of it.
Did you have a bucket of fried chicken strapped across your back when you were watching that show? I'm sorry.
You're fired.
I'm fired.
You're fired.
You know what? So I
man.
resign.
Let's get back to our
Yeah, go ahead.
most annoying wrestling expert.
Annoying expert.
Okay.
So is he right?
First of all, it's his opinion, and if this is who I think we're speaking of, I don't recall there being such a level of. I've seen some irritating levels. He doesn't bother me that way, to be very honest. So if 12 minutes is all he could afford it, quite honestly, a couple of weeks back, I gave it almost 0 because it really pissed me off. Raw has been kind of rough, but the last few weeks, I will say that it has garnered a little more interest because of all the run-ins from the NXT coming in.
I'm going to ask you this question, Pharaoh.
But maybe not to everybody.
If you were to post on Facebook,
yeah,
right?
You know I don't usually.
No, I know.
Okay.
But if you were to post, would you
right.
constantly be judging the shows? Would you be saying AEW unbelievable, every show is great, yada
No.
yada yada yada?
No.
WWE.
You know
yuck.
what?
SmackDown. Yuck.
You know what? I actually thought about chiming in at the level that I've seen some people do, just so we have a full understanding of what our opinion is on everything. Like, for example, this week I thought it was very interesting that some really good matches did occur on Raw. There was a "This is awesome" chant for Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, and I thought to myself, 5 years ago, the very same indie marks who root with all their heart against Vince would be going nuts for Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. These guys were kings of the indie scene, and they're giving this awesome match, and you're getting a "This is awesome" chant. It goes by like a fart in the wind. Nobody even talks about
it's
it.
the underdog.
Why?
It's the underdog mentality of today's society.
Okay.
If you make it, you now have become the enemy. That's the problem. And again,
But isn't it more so in wrestling? Like, for example, we don't talk during the year about how Met fans are going wild on Yankee fans on the internet.
that's a difference. That's a rivalry, though.
Is it?
Are we saying NXT and
really?
WWE is a rivalry?
I think it is.
Well,
right
then if
now.
it's a true rivalry,
Sure.
like I said, when I was growing up,
behaving like
if the
a rivalry.
NWA ever came to New York, I never supported them.
Right.
And I could have. I
going
never
to,
did.
Are we going to see AEW if they come around?
No, my point is, if
know?
you're truly an AEW mark,
Yeah.
get rid of your network,
Okay.
right? That's the first thing.
How many?
Drop your $9.99
I wonder though
network.
how many of those young kids in the AEW audience actually do have the network. I do wonder about that.
All of them.
You think so?
Yeah, 'cause the parents get it for
Wow,
them.
really?
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the older
Well, in
ones
that
don't only
case-
have the network; they
in
have
that
stock.
Case, what the hell? You know? Free
Right.
me. Free me. Yeah, I got to be free.
So my point is, if you're going to be in the rivalry and you're an AEW mark, that's fine. Be an AEW mark,
Right.
But don't support the WWE,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter, it's the underdog mentality. That's what the problem is.
All right.
And it's like, I'm just going to go out there with my agenda, and this is why the most annoying wrestling fan segment is there. But listen,
All right, I got you.
everybody has a right to think what they
Sure.
But you could clearly see where people just don't even give it a break.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
Look, if you watch
I
NWA
certainly
Power,
can get that, sure.
you see the difference between the wrestlers. Okay? Mm-hmm. There's a difference. There's a total difference.
Right.
Mic skills, wrestling skills.
Right.
If you go to AEW, watch their women wrestling, it's not even close.
Not to what the WWE
it's
roster
not
has.
close.
No, it's not.
And I got to be honest with you, and I'm calling it like it is. I'm pro WWE, but if I saw it, look, I'm watching NWA Power right now. I watched that AEW stuff. It's so orchestrated. It's ridiculously stupid looking.
What, the gymnastics?
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
All right.
that's right. They had their same model. Wrestling match of high spots. Chris Jericho doing his great stuff, and Cody Rhodes doing his great stuff.
All
and then
right.
back to another vignette, and back to 2 other wrestling matches, close the show. Listen, the only good parts about the show is Cody Rhodes and Chris Jericho. That's it.
For you.
Oh, fine.
You know, like I don't mind a really good opening match. That doesn't bother me. Actually, I'm good
They're
with
not
that.
really good opening matches.
That was a good match. I like the opening match this
What do
week.
you mean? It kicks that are 5 feet from everybody's head and they're
know.
jumping to the ground?
Look, I've been watching Phoenix and Mexico for years. I'm wrestling.
You're just used to it.
I'm used to Phoenix. I was watching
All
on
right.
AAA in Mexico for years.
Listen, I'm not trying to convince
I
you of the
actually
way
thought it was
different.
interesting that they had one of the Young Bucks wrestling single too instead of tag team every week. I thought it was like,
They don't
cool.
have enough wrestlers.
We know that. The match was good. That's all I'm saying.
Are you
Was just
going
the
to-
match was good.
You wouldn't even go to a WWE event, right?
I would.
All right, but you
I
go
think
to
I
an
would.
AEW event?
You'd have to really twist my arm. Is Jericho wrestling Omega? Yeah, I would go to that.
Right.
I would go to that. Are you not interested in that? I think that's fine.
Wouldn't take me there.
How about Cody versus Jericho? No?
I don't know, man. I'm just like, I wasn't a big Jericho guy to begin with.
Right.
And that's not saying he's not one of the greatest of all time.
Jericho was great this week,
you know.
as usual. Jericho's great.
Well, look. Again, I want to thank our most annoying wrestling fans, and don't forget next week we'll find some other wackadoo out there.
I should time how much I actually do get out of it that I think's quality, and see how much it comes to, because it's 3 hours. I'm sure I could get an hour out of it usually. The other 2 hours, I'm like,
you go to a movie.
Yeah.
What makes a great movie?
Oh, so many different things can make a great movie. I mean, what kind of movie?
Way in there, Jimmy.
What kind of movie are we talking?
What makes a great movie?
Yeah.
So
Something
many
that
different
makes
things
you
can
lose
make it.
track of the time while you're watching.
You're totally engaged.
Yep. All of a sudden, it's like,
Totally engaged. So I would say with every wrestling show, there's nothing totally engaging.
That's true.
I mean, even NWA Powerhouse Slide. And by the way, my
That's
favorite
very
NWA wrestler is
Question mark.
Question mark.
What
That
is
guy
with
rocks.
you? I saw the post today.
Love
I'm
that
like,
guy, man.
He's in love with question mark. Who is that guy?
stupidest gimmick ever.
Who is that
I have no
guy?
idea.
Question mark.
If that guy was wrestling Chris Jericho, I'd go, wow.
Dude, they love him when you slap him, the crowd boos. It's like,
it's
oh, you hit
hilarious.
question mark.
I
How
love
dare
it.
you? I'm
I
like,
love
what's
it.
going on here?
I love it.
Oh, he'll be over for like a month.
Too funny.
All
right, let's hit Survivor Series. We got about 15 minutes. You want to hit Survivor Series, do some predictions?
If you want to, sure.
Start bottom up. You want to go bottom up?
Yeah, sure. Just tell me where you want to go. I'll go to the back end of
NXT
this.
Championship. Adam Cole first the forever known TBD. And for the people that don't know what TBD means, that means to be determined.
Oh, okay. That's the
He'll be
War
facing
Games.
off against the winner of War Games.
All right, Killian Dane, Damian Priest, Pete Dunne. All right, they determine who gets the title shot. Very interesting. I don't know what to think about this, but I think one way or the other, Adam Cole's going to walk out with it. That's what I think.
Adam Cole's a true talent.
I love Adam Cole. Thank you. When did the light bulb go off? Because
He's the Sammy, though.
Oh, here we go again with the smaller guys. All right.
All right, Women's Survivor Series elimination match. Team Raw, Charlotte Flair, Natty.
Oh, you know how into this I
The
am.
Kabuki Warriors and Sarah Logan versus Team SmackDown. Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross. First team NXT, which we don't know who that is yet.
You done?
Yeah,
That's fucking, who cares, man? I hear a toilet flushing and flushing. I don't care. I can care a lot. What kind of buildup is there for this? I care about this? And it's got nothing to do with the women. This is who cares? Who cares? And it's I get it. It's because it's the first ever women's Survivor Series elimination match. Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Couldn't you make it like more interesting or something? I don't know. Like do something.
So the big pay-per-views.
I'm not interested.
Which one's your favorite?
Sarah Logan? What's she
one?
been doing lately?
Hanging out. Which one's your
Just the YouTube?
Which
hanging
one's your
out.
favorite pay-per-view of all the WWE pay-per-views? That is a must-see.
I'm dying over here. What do you mean my favorite of the big four?
Yes.
Like the big four?
It's big four, right?
Well, what is the big four? Oh, I love the Royal Rumble.
WrestleMania.
Stop.
Royal
I
Rumble.
love the Royal
So
I
Royal
love-
Rumble number one.
Yeah.
Number two.
On an enjoyment level?
That you must watch.
Royal Rumble, I just absolutely love.
Next.
Oh man, it's going to sound strange, but like I'm very partial to SummerSlam for some stupid
Wow.
reason.
Okay. And
But
then I guess-
SummerSlam and WrestleMania kind of run neck and neck. Royal Rumble's the one I look forward to the most. There's something about the Royal Rumble that I really love. Can you explain it? What is it about that? Just the setup for WrestleMania is sometimes better than the actual WrestleMania.
I like.
I don't know.
I like Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Okay.
WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Kind of
that's
tied
fair.
with Survivor Series.
Wow.
The Survivor-
Ahead of SummerSlam?
Yeah, Survivor Series has
What?
a special meaning to me because when the first Survivor Series came out, I was overseas. And
All
it was
right.
like, you couldn't.
But don't you
know,
think Survivor Series has kind of lost its luster over the years?
I think
SummerSlam hasn't.
I wish it was just the way it used to be, right? Just team
guess.
versus team.
I
All right.
guess.
Anyway, men's Survivor Series
All
match:
right.
Team
Let
Raw,
me see how
Seth
much I
Rollins,
care about this. Go on.
Kevin Owens,
That's good.
Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Ricochet.
Would you stop? That's a good
versus
team.
Team SmackDown: Roman Reigns, King Corbin,
That's
Ali,
terrible.
Shorty G,
This team blows.
and Braun
Oh my
Strowman.
God, this team sucks. Oh my God! Watch, they're gonna win. You know,
King Corbin's winning.
King,
this
oh
thing.
yeah,
Come on,
he's gonna get the pin. Everybody's gonna hate him. Oh, it's gonna be hilarious. You like King Corbin now with the crown?
You
and
turned
the-
me on to Corbin. I wasn't a big fan, but you
turned
turned
you
me on. To
on.
him.
When did that happen? All right. Do you care about the match though, Mike?
It's Survivor Series. I'll watch it.
Oh, Lee and Shorty G.
Unless Starship Troopers 2 is on. Or Starship Troopers 3.
What am I doing with that?
Men's Tag Team Championship. The Viking Raiders versus the New Day versus the Undisputed Era.
You know what?
First of all, who wins that? Who's winning the matches? You're not giving me predictions.
Well,
bud.
all right. Well, didn't we say earlier? Let's do this quickly.
You
I
said
said
Adam
Adam Cole's going to
Good.
wind up keeping his belt.
Yep.
The women's match, I could really give a flying F about.
You know, I gotta give Farrell credit. He's totally cable conscious lately. Seen every Tuesday from 8 to 8:30 to 9
That's still
p.m.
going to get a
Monte
horn.
The
The
Pharaoh.
F would still get a censorship. It would be, I don't give a flying.
All right, who are you picking?
You know what? This is awful. Let me go with the Charlotte Flair's team.
I'm going with Team Raw too.
Okay. All right. Men's Survivor Series. Let me go with. You know what? You said King Corbin's going to wind up getting the win.
Yeah.
And they probably will for the sake that SmackDown's on Fox. So I'm thinking from a business level. On paper, Raw should destroy them.
Right.
Okay. So we got that. Now
What do you mean
we
they got Shorty G? I'm going to go with SmackDown.
Yeah,
too.
I
and we
think-
don't know who Team NXT is going to be.
I
yet,
hate
so.
making predictions, by the way, folks. It ruins everything for me.
Yeah, it does.
I want to enjoy myself.
You don't know
You're
everybody
not
out there. You don't know what I go through.
You're
I
not-
get.
I was making predictions.
No,
No, it gets
I'm
crazy,
usually
dude.
really. We've
He
done
was
quite
yelling.
fun.
One time he
I
called
know,
me
bro.
screaming.
I know.
Oh, remember that? All
Because I was 174 and 26, and people are giving me a hard time. I'm like, this is BS.
And the one time Jim tries, he goes 100%.
Right.
Yeah,
Jim
yeah.
knocks it out of the park. He's like this. He's like Sky Lolo. Sky Lolo pins Andre. You know.
Viking Raiders versus the New Day versus the Undisputed Era.
I want Undisputed Era to win this match. Is this like whoever wins gets the belts?
No,
this is not
there's
gonna
no
end
belts,
the-
there's no titles.
They're just going at it, huh?
I'm going Viking Raiders. I think they've got to keep them strong.
Yeah, they probably.
New Day
will.
doesn't need help. They've won the belt 5 million times, right?
Watch New Day wins the match.
And by the way, if they really start putting NXT over on these matches, I'm not going to be happy.
Right.
I just don't think it makes
Well,
sense.
they're going to put Cole over, I think. I think he's walking out
All
of
right,
there.
the mid-card champions.
So who are you picking again for
I'm
that
going to
tag
go
match?
with Viking Raiders.
All right.
Who are you going with?
I'm going to say the New Day for some stupid reason.
Wow.
I'm thinking SmackDown Fox.
All right.
I'm not thinking with my...
Mid-card champions, AJ Styles, the U.S. champion, versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental champion, versus Roderick Strong, the North American champion.
Wow, it's too bad none of these are for belts, huh?
Oh, you want this to be for belt?
That'd
Everybody's
be so
belt, huh?
great.
Yeah, you can't have that.
I know we can't have that. Nakamura. I'm going to root for Nakamura.
Wow, you're crazy.
Why?
No
it's
way.
going to be
It's gotta
Styles.
be AJ, right?
Yeah, I know.
Stick with AJ.
I am
going to
say.
get angry.
I'm
that
going to
you
pick.
picked
Yeah. All right.
Nakamura.
Fine. I'll pick Styles.
See, I'm always looking out for
when,
you, bro.
when Sammy helps Nakamura win, you know. Anyway.
Then you're going to call me bitch. I told you it was
Yeah.
Nakamura!
You made me change my pick.
Women's champions, Becky Lynch from Raw, Bayley from SmackDown, Shayna Baszler from NXT.
Shayna Baszler's got to win this, but she won't. They'll have Becky win.
You got to have Becky win.
Yeah,
Lynch win it, right?
You see that match? That match
And I
is
honestly
cool.
think Bayley's going to get pinned.
Wait a minute. How many of these matches are actually cool? Let me see about this. Let's be serious here real fast. I'm sorry to go back. Adam Cole match will probably be great no matter what. I'm not so sure about that men's Survivor Series thing, and I think the tag match will be surprisingly good.
All right. Universal Championship, The Fiend Bray Wyatt against Daniel Bryan.
Oh, the Fiend.
Right, they can't have The Fiend lose.
Nah, he's going to hold the belt still.
All right.
I believe so.
And finally, in the WWE Championship,
Don't
Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio in a no holds barred, no disqualification.
See this? This is me giving it an F5. This crap is over.
Any chance
Oh,
of Dominic
my God.
turning on his father?
Oh, it'd be so great.
It's not possible, right?
Sure, it's possible. You suck, Dad.
Or how about this?
That'd be
Is there a
great.
possibility of Rey Mysterio winning? Wait, Jim, you said it's possible that
Yeah, why not?
it's his son.
What about those two bikers, the father and son that build the bikes?
Oh, that's true. Orange
And they-
County
and
Choppers.
Wait a minute. Where
freaking
do
against each other.
those guys live?
In
Orange County.
Which
Orange
is
County
where,
Chop-
please?
California.
Oh, it's in California. Because there's this dude in my neighborhood. He looks just like the father.
Oh, really?
It's messed up. He's got a bike and everything. He pulls up to the smoke shop. Oy.
All right, so this could go different ways, though. So it's no disqualification. any chance Dominic and Cain Vasquez come in and the three of them beat the shit out of Brock and Rey Mysterio wins the title.
Wow. Wouldn't that suck?
It's no disqualification. It's a no holds barred match.
Right. I don't know. You think that's going to happen?
No, but
no, I don't.
And I don't think I would be happy if that.
I think
happened.
Lesnar's going to destroy.
But there's
him.
no way Dominic attacks his father, right?
I'd love that. That'd be great.
Dude, what son would attack their father?
Like I just
Maybe-
gave an example, man. I just told you one.
Wow, that would be pretty cool.
Maybe Bruno Jr. should.
That could be one of the greatest turns
David should
in
have done
history.
that. David should have done that to Bruno.
What?
Oedipus.
Who to what?
Oedipus.
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 The queen weighing in. Oedipus attacked his father. You're very intelligent. Are you on level 7 still or what?
Still on level 7.
Yeah, she's on level 7.
Not like
folks.
Icarus, who sank.
The
sank
flight
for
of
his,
Icarus.
Who sank for his father.
Oedipus.
With the damn wax wings. Check me out, Dad. Oops. Fly on the way. Oh my God!
All right, what are we going? Brock over Ray?
Of course we're going with Brock. Stop with your stupid. Oh, there's Dominic. Oh, Daddy, I don't like you. Get out of here, Dominic. He's gonna murder all of them. And Cain Velasquez was like, man, what was that? That was bad.
All right, so we covered a lot of stuff here. What did you like most about today's show? Something you want to weigh in before we cut out that you didn't like?
What? What I liked and what I didn't like? I like that we made it on the air and that we didn't get thrown off. How about that? How's that sound? That sounds good. Censorship didn't come in.
Feeling again on Cornette?
What?
Revisiting Cornette?
Oh, very unfortunate, man. Just very unfortunate. Do I support what he said? In the old days, no one would have cared. Today, you got to know better. And on top of it, the editor should have known better. This stuff was taped. Why are you setting everybody up for failure here? An unnecessary headache. People say stupid things all the time. Whatever, man. I just think it was bad. I don't think it's good for NWA. It's not good for Cornette either. But I'm sure he'll bounce back. He never stops talking. He's got his YouTube channel.
It's funny.
He'll have his opinion now.
Last
People
couple
still
of weeks
interested in what
in
he's got to
wrestling,
say.
we had a T-shirt that offended somebody, and now we had a comment that offended.
Yeah,
somebody.
ACH. What did we even talk about? ACH going batshit crazy?
No, we covered it on the Road Warrior Animal thing.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
Mike Logan
Yeah,
thing,
that's
right?
true. He went berserk.
Jim, real quick, you weren't in this on this. WWE put
what
a
it is.
T-shirt on this. He keeps calling him ACH, but it's Miles, right?
Right. To me, it's ACH
using
from,
that name.
Ring of Honor.
They had a T-shirt where they had his smile with his name Miles that turned out to look like a racist shirt.
They
right?
kind of made it out. It was an Al Jolson type
Yeah.
situation.
It just ended up looking like that, I guess. What are your thoughts on that,
guess.
Savali?
Do it again.
I knew it. Explain it to Savali.
I was setting up something.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully you got something for me. Anyway.
Yes.
They had made a T-shirt for a particular wrestler
heard of that, yeah.
who's of black color.
Yes, yes.
And the shirt turned out to be black. Oops! And it had a big smile on it. It was just the lips.
And the guy's name is Teeth.
I think that's great.
Now somebody wrote in I got an old Rolling Stone shirt, a black shirt that's just a mouth with a tongue. Why is that not? And I'm like, I don't know.
Well,
bro.
listen, you can't.
Look,
you don't
it is
know
what it is.
You
If it
don't know
bothered
what
them,
offends people, right?
it bothered them.
Look,
What am I going to do?
that's what I'm saying. If it offends people, it offends people. I can't tell if it's stupid or not, right?
Right.
What offends me may not offend somebody else, right?
Right.
But,
Yep.
I still don't think it's a great idea to go public and destroy your boss. You need to you have been paid well. I'm sure Vince cuts good checks for these guys. You got to talk to the guy in private. You shouldn't do that. No matter who did what, you shouldn't do that. And shame on the marketing too. Again, where's the marketing to know somebody might not like this? Oh, let's release it. Oops! Everybody's freaking out.
I mean, what if Jim Cornette would have said he's the only man?
Somebody's got to be smarter in the room. There's probably 30 guys getting overpaid in
What
marketing.
if Cornette would have said
one guy
this?
to figure it out?
What if Cornette would have said this?
What?
He's the only man I've ever known that can strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter through a pack of wild wolves.
Then he would have been fine. How messed up is that?
What about the wolves are homeless?
It's because he mentioned, nobody cares
the
about
wolves are
animals.
homeless.
Nobody cares about their plight. Nobody
No
cares
one
about
cares
wolves.
about
Nobody
the
cares
plight
about
of the animal.
Nobody cares about the wolves. I do, personally. I understand. I feel your pain.
Right.
But nobody gives a crap about the wolves. Nobody would care. Nobody would care.
What if he would have said,
Dude, you see crimes every day that
What if he
nobody
said,
pays attention to. It's like,
strapped on I rode his motorcycle through a bunch of unemployed people?
Now the unemployed might be now you're messing with poor people. What's wrong with you? That's not very
All right, I'm going to leave you with this last one before we cut out.
Of you,
all right,
or something.
last comment.
Yeah.
I've ever known a man that could strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back to ride a motor scooter across a bunch of people smoking pot.
That's funny. I like that.
Is that offensive?
That would be dangerous.
Because you're kind of saying that when
We'll
people
be
smoke
into the
pot,
fried
they're
chicken.
hungry.
I think that's
Jim, what do you think of that?
See, actually, that's hilarious because us stoners wouldn't be offended by that. Be like, that's funny.
Would you attack him for his bucket of chicken after
I
smoking
think
some
that's
weed?
hilarious, man. Would you take the chicken?
No
How
people
hungry are we after
no
the
people
after
who
the?
smoke would attack anyone for anything.
Oh man, I think it's
like
funny.
But a bucket of chicken.
Dude, I think it's
They
funny.
would not.
Ah, it's
they
really
would,
funny. I can see
talk
you
their
doing
way
it.
into getting a piece.
Having a weird reaction
Maybe
to that
break it
big
out
old
into a
bone.
joint or
And,
something.
like,
I
running after the
gotta be
chicken.
honest. I wouldn't if he just drove by me with a bucket of chicken. I'd
How about
probably grab some.
extra crispy? You'd like turn
Oh
it
my
up
God!
a notch?
I'll turn it up.
He'd turn it up.
I'll turn it up
Mike's,
hot.
Mike's flying down Jericho Turnpike barefoot.
I'll turn it hot.
You know,
I'd turn it
I
hot.
can see it now.
Drive me to 7-Eleven after this.
That's what is going on here.
All right. Anyway, I want to thank
can't
everybody for
anymore.
joining Long
Trees
Island's.
hate everything. What's wrong with you? Go on. Go on. What were you saying?
I want to thank everybody
He
for
wants to thank
joining
people.
Long Island's
Yeah, you do
number
that.
one pro wrestling
Yeah.
broadcast.
Yeah, there it is
You
again.
can catch us on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can catch us on www.montyandthepharaoh.com.
That's right. That's me, by the way.
You can catch
Don't,
us.
don't get confused, folks.
You can
Go
catch
on.
us every Tuesday on channel 115 from 8:30 to 9 p.m.
This is
without
true.
fail.
This is true.
In fact,
what an ending this week, too.
It wasn't.
Boom!
Bam! Like
That
a
was
rocket.
excellent. That was great.
And don't forget,
Go
this
on.
Thursday's coming up is Thanksgiving, so Monty the Pharaoh will be preempted as we will probably be eating a bucket chicken.
And in the old days,
Yeah.
we
Fighting
would.
someone for it.
Fighting for some.
And in the old days, we would have been watching King Kong and Godzilla.
Is that not on anymore?
It might be. You know what? I gotta ask
'Cause
McIntyre.
I think that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch
Black version.
the black version
The
of
black
what?
version of Godzilla.
Godzilla. It's great with Jack Black.
Oh, that's a good one.
King Kong.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the Godzilla's black.
The black version
That
of
was
Godzilla.
Godzilla black. What
There
up?
you go.
What up?
What does he breathe? Like, you know.
March of the Wooden Soldiers. I'll be watching.
Oh, I love March of the
King
Wooden
Kong.
Soldiers. I love
March of the Wooden Soldiers.
March of the Wooden Soldiers.
I'm losing my voice.
oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
if you don't get your fix next Thursday, you can watch Monty the Pharaoh on Tuesday 8:30 to 9 p.m. on
Right.
channel 115.
That's right.
We want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. We want to thank Mr. Jim Savali for always manning the station and giving us a wonderful studio here at Village Connection Radio.
Jimbo.
We want to thank Wisteria Hall and Aqua Cherry for supporting us with such great music, and we want to thank our live viewer, the Queen from She Hates Trees.
Trees hate everything.
Here he goes again.
Go again.
What was it again, Pharaoh?
Trees hate everything.
There you go. Thank
Mr.
you,
Memory
sir. I
Banks.
appreciate it.
Oh my God.
All right, we'll catch you next week. Not next week, but the week after, where we will be having the new SWF Tag Team Champions. in the
Really?
studio.
Nice.
Yes.
Simply splendid.
Simply splendid.
Yeah.
I know Jim's excited about that.
Jimmy.
All right, we'll catch you next week,
All right.
everybody. Have a good one.
Later.